Hello everyone, welcome to .NETMirror channel. If you are looking to build fast, scalable and cross-platform services with the database, you are in the right place. Today we are diving into ASP.NET Core Web API with the CRUD operations where we'll have create, read, update and delete operations from the API with the SQL Server as backend. In this video, we will look at what is a web API. We will create control-based CRUD APIs. Then we will look at the end-to-end demo. If you are new here, please subscribe to our channel .NET Mirror. Click on the bell icon to get my video updates. Let's get started. So what exactly is a web API? Think of it as a bridge. It allows different applications like your mobile phone, a React frontend or even IoT devices which talks to a central server using HTTP. It's the industry standard for building RESTful applications. As you can see in the flow, a client sends a HTTP request. Our controller processes the logic through the action methods, which interacts with the data sources like databases, which sends back a clean JSON or XML response back to client application. Before we get started, make sure you have Visual Studio, .NET SDK installed, basic knowledge of C Sharp and SQL. In my previous video, I created a basic API controller based. You can check my video. I will provide the link in the description. To create a web API, go to the Visual Studio, create a project, web API template, select a project name and location, and use checkbox as use control. You're ready to go start your web APIs. On top of the basic web API which we created previously, today we are going to add an API with SQL database, and we will try to add a controller with all the CRUD operations from the API. To do that, we have to add Microsoft Data SQL Client package. We will create a database and a table. We will create a folder called model. Then we will add a class called certification. We will try to add a data folder dal and idal, which talks to database via ado.net. We will try to add an API controller which will do an CRUD operations. We will build a connection string in the app settings. We will try to register our classes in program.cs, and at the end we will try to test all the endpoints via .http file within your solution. Let's get started. I already created a basic web API which has weather forecast controller, and if you go and make a test call, you will get weather forecast data. Yeah, the app is running now. You can see the basic API which is written. Now on top of this, we will try to add CRUD operations. As I mentioned, let's do the steps. Yeah, just go and add a package. Go to browse, search for SQL client. Yeah, make sure you're installing the stable version. In the meanwhile, let me open the database. So I already have a script available. Let me go to my GitHub repo. Yeah, now the package is added. Let's go to the solution and let's add a folder. Let's call it as a model folder. And let's go back to the database. Yeah, now I'm connecting to my SQL Express locally. Let's take the script from here. So this script basically has a database called learning. Then we have a certification table which has code, name and exam date and the insert data. So let me take this. And if you go to the databases, yeah, we don't have any learning database. So let's create a new query. Let's run this now. Yeah, now script is executed. Let's refresh this. We have learning database and we have a table called certification. Yeah, now we see the certification table and we have data available. Let's go back to Visual Studio. So now let's add a class called certification. So here we have code name and exam date. So similar properties let me add. So let's take this as a date time. Yeah, so now these are the three similar properties we created. So now our model is ready. Let's go and create one more folder. We will try to put our database interactions over here. Let's create a data folder and I will add one interface. Let me call it as idle. So let me copy the methods. So here we have a certification and yeah, here we have the operations where we will get list of certifications. We will get specific certification here. We will try to save, update and delete. So we have these operations. Now let's try to implement this interface. Let's call it as dal.cs. I have already implemented the code. So let me take the entire code and copy. So this is the code I have. Yeah, now if you look at here, this has the implementation of interface, which has list certifications, save, update, delete, as well as get individual certification. Now let's add the controller. So let's go to the controller. So we'll say add. This time we'll say scaffolded item. You can select API. Just say that API controller with read write actions. Let's add this. Let's call it as maybe cert data controller. Yeah. So let's add the controller. Yeah. So by default here you will get the get call, specific ID version, the post one, and the put and the delete one. So I already implemented. So let me copy that. So before this, right? So as we have the DataX layer where we need to use the connection string. So let's try to inject that via dependency injection. So let's go to the program.cs. Let's try to register our del class. So let me put here. So yeah, now we are trying to inject our particular data access layer here. So It's done. Now let's go to the controller. So let me just copy the implemented version of the code. Yeah, so if you look at here, I'm trying to inject idle as a context to this, and from here on I'm trying to call all my methods. If you look at here, the get, it is trying to call all certifications. This is specific to the code. This is the post where it will go and save the data. Once it is successful, it has okay. For the update, I'm trying to put, I'm trying to put an update and the delete. So let's build the solution. Okay, the build is succeeded. The only thing which we missed is adding a connection string. So via app settings, let's try to pass that. Let's go to app settings. So let me take my connection string. So here I'm connecting to my SQL local express. So this is my server, the database, and this particular connection string will be passed via the controller. Yeah, now let's, what we will do is we will test these endpoints via HTTP file. Let's go here, and to add our endpoints, you can go to view, other windows, and just say endpoint explorer. Now it will try to show all our new endpoints. First, let's try to call the get data. So you can just right click, you can say generate request. Yeah, now the request is ready. Let's run the application. Yeah, now let's make a send request. Yeah, now if you see here, all the data which is available in the database, it is trying to return. So now the endpoint is working. Let's see how this is working. So let's go to the code. So basically it is, first we are trying to inject our DAL layer here. We are getting the context here. Now it is trying to make a call to the list certifications. Let's go to the list certifications. So within this, there is a connection string that is automatically injected via I configuration, and I'm trying to get the default connection, and it is trying to uh, list the certifications via ADO.NET code. Now let's try to test the other endpoints. Let's go to the HTTP file. Now let's add generate request for post. We will do an update, and let's do delete as well. So now we verified GetAll. Now we will try to test the post connection. So I'm trying to take some data. So in the post call, I'm trying to send the data in the request, the code, AWS certified developer, and an exam date. So let's test this. So now we got as okay response. Let's go to the database. Let's run this. And if you look at here, the AWS is inserted here. Okay, now let's test the update. So let me take the same, and here I will just pass updated text. So let's make it, let me update as updated. Let's send a request. Now it will go and basically based on this particular code, it will update this particular item. Now let's go here. This description should be updated. Now if you see here, updated got inserted. Now we tested create, update. Let's test only the get one. So it's not here. Let's put an endpoint. So this is specific to the code endpoint. Let's generate a request. So from here, so this is specific to code. Let's pass that. So here on top, let's say to pass that, you have to say code equal to, let's copy this code. Yeah, now let's make send request. Yeah, now if you see here, this is coming from the database, and if you see updated text is also available. Now let's try to test the delete endpoint. The delete endpoint is here. Now let's pass the same code. Now let's send the request. Now it is 204, no content. It is succeeded. Now if you go and run here, this item is deleted. With this, we have tested different endpoints: create with post, update with put, and any kind of read. Basically, you can do a get all or get specific item, or you can use the delete. With this way, you can create different endpoints which can talk to the database and use .http file to test your endpoints. I will try to push all this code to my repo. I will provide the link in the description. With this, we are done with the demo. Let's go to the PPT. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel .NET If you like this video, click on the like button. Share with your friends or colleagues. Click on the bell icon to get more updates from my channel. Thanks for watching. See you again.